considering that, this IPO priced at $37. So, almost tripling here from that offering price on the first print. It is kind of to be expected that there, no pun intended, a lot of bullishness for these crypto IPOs. I mean, we saw Circle, the stablecoin operator earlier in the year, jumping about 169% on its first day. Figma, not a crypto play, but more of an AI play. Its IPO, it was up 250% on its first day. So clearly, the market sentiment right now is just so risk on for the entire market, and that is really just getting put through a magnifying glass for these IPOs, especially in these sort of buzzy of the moment industries like crypto and AI. So pretty remarkable opening for sure.
Well, that is for sure. I was just mentioning Goldman Sachs while you were walking in the studio, Mike. Regan hitting an all-time high on the 12th of August with the idea of new issues finally coming back to life. How real are the animal spirits in this market?
They're tremendous. I mean, when you look at this, more than a 30% rally from the April lows in the S&P 500, even better for the NASDAQ. Still waiting for the Dow to hit that record. But, especially quite a time to price an IPO and start trading after the CPI number this week really sort of let everybody exhale a little bit and get back to thinking that we'll get maybe 2 interest rates, maybe even more interest rate cuts by the Fed this year because that CPI, it was still a little hot, but not as hot as people maybe in their worst case scenario were worried about. And with that jobs report we saw for July, it's kind of all combining for this really major risk appetite in the stock market. You still have the AI theme really propelling the mega caps, and it's sort of a situation where it's lifting all boats now when you add in this prospects potentially for some interest rate cuts from the Fed.
Well, what does that mean for the pipeline, though? I mean, we've had a couple of really successful IPOs this season. What else could be coming? Who's Goldman Sachs meeting with right now?
Well, we're getting ready for MIAX this week. That's the Miami Options Exchange. That's the next one sort of, in the pipeline to price this week. I'm not sure if we'll see the exact amount of optimism given that is more of a traditional exchange. They do have a crypto element to it. They bought the old derivatives exchange from FTX. So that might get a little bit more excitement around that name. We'll have to see. Besides that, and here Bullish has just started trading again, so back up to 105 now.
So there we go.
Yeah, stand by for another trading pause, volatility pause, possibly. But
yeah, entirely possible. Look at this; it's up 195% here. We're going to hit $110 in a minute, Mike. This thing just keeps on rolling. We could see trading halts throughout the session. Then, is your point?
I think so, yeah, quite possible, but certainly, this is a stock in the sweet spot for what this sort of risk appetite in the market is looking for this year with, President Trump embracing crypto. Bullish, not a real well-known exchange in the U.S. It does own the CoinDesk crypto news site, which it's probably best known for in the U.S., but I think there's a lot of optimism that, its prospects in the U.S. could be improving under the much looser and very hands-off regulatory regime under President Trump for the crypto industry.